There is fire on the mountain regarding insecurity in Nigeria, and people are really running for cover. The executive vice chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission, as NCC, citizens made about 34 million emergency calls between January and August 2022. 2021.
Yes,
I beg your pardon. This year, I can't remember the last time I've made this distress call. I don't know, maybe the figure. I know that, okay, in our senior clients, the 911 used to be the most popular one.
People use it a lot.
What's up with Nigeria?
Yes,
Because I don't
you
expect...
can't have the kind of security problems we have without people calling the security operatives.
Do you know it? Do you know the number offhand?
Of course, there is even the NCC chairman used the occasion to also publicize it. You know? So people will make those calls, and I want to believe that a lot of those calls are not frivolous. In Lagos, for example, the government has encouraged people not to hesitate to call the distress lines so that they can be attended to. And what he's saying is that, what the NCC boss is saying is that during COVID, there were 1,500 calls related to COVID-19. Maybe somebody was suspected to be ill, and the relations will simply call, because you know Lagos publish those lines everywhere.
When they bring the ambulance to come and evacuate people.
You know, so 1,500 calls. So if that's talking about last year, that was the peak of the crisis. Now, if 35 million made emergency calls and he qualified it itself for security and life-threatening situations.
35 million.
Yes, I want to believe that, yes, some of this may be motor accident related, but majority, a clear majority of these calls were in respect of security, distress call relating to security. So it underlines the extent of the problem that we are going through. And if they will break this down, I wish they can break this down to states. We know where those calls are coming from.
Most of those calls.
Yes, we will also. It will also help us.
By bandits.
It will also help us to solve problems. We now know where security agents are much needed, where we need to beef up security and all that. But a lot of these calls are largely security related, and 35 million is a lot. Talking about just about 7 months is a lot. It's a huge
distress
number.
call. 35 million distress calls within 7 months. I can tell you, I don't need to understand the statistics. This 35 million, the responses they got, it might not be up to 2 million. As in, let me call and take the rescue. The way you do 911, next the policeman that is down your streets is attending, is coming to your house to ask, ma'am, what's the problem?
Yeah. Unfortunately, our response can't be that fast.
We are under police,
because
grossly under
everything is just, even if it is fire. Imagine that even in Lagos, our sophisticated Lagos, there are 20 fire issues at about the same time. Imagine what the response will be like. So it can't be as it should be. It can't. And that is where the challenge is. There are certain situations that you don't even need to call, because you are sure there's somebody nearby who is already looking, who is already attending to you. There are safety valves already in place in some countries. You know, but in this case, we need to go that extra mile. And by the time you are calling, they tell you the patrol car does not even have fuel, or these people are already attending to emergency somewhere else, and then it's just all over. How do we attend to this is what we should now be looking at, so that we don't need to get to the point of the emergency calls. We need to have put systems in place that can guard against these emergency calls. That's the question we should be asking. Because if we are, I'm sorry to use the word glutton, if we are happy that this system of calling is working, then I have my fears. Because it is not the calling that matters now. It is the response. Like I tell people, some people say they are fleeing the country because of insecurity. And I say, where you are going to? The statistics are worse. The only difference between us and those countries is that the rate of resolution, getting those who are behind those issues,
yes,
they are higher. That's the difference.
The rate of killings in
Nigeria
is the highest in the world now.
Killings
in
the
There's
world.
no country like us.
No, for
not
now.
even Syria, not even Afghanistan, not Iraq.
But before now,
it's officially what the country.
in reality, if people know that if I commit this offense, like they will say in some of the crime programs that we watch, that I'll be caught in within 72 hours. They won't even try it, but they know that getting away with it is almost 100%. So they keep doing what they need to do. It is how we are going to reduce this issue of calls that we should be looking at. How do we tackle it? How do we ensure that citizens are safe? And that it is only in
it's only in 23 states, so it's not in every state.
It's not because the numbers are not.
These statistics are for just 23 states.
It's not functional in some states yet. The emergency communication center is not functional in some states.
Just told me that number is 112.
Yes, it's 112.
112. In case you don't have it, you might have an emergency anytime, so just write it down. 112.
It's toll free. There is no
toll free. They don't charge.
Once you're in distress, maybe a rapist is in the neighborhood, you're trying to rape.
Just call.
Just save a life. You can actually save a life by.
There was one night
How can we improve our? What are those things we need to put in place to improve our emergency response rate? Because I'm sure they are not going to release these statistics to us. That out of those 35 million that they're talking about, how many were they able to respond to, and how many were they able to salvage the situation?
They will not. Their own is to make sure that those calls, that the toll-free lines work. Their own is to keep them working. So once the call has been received,
it's none of their business.
Well, there is no. It's not NCC's business anymore. NCC has done well to keep these lines, keep them working. Yes, active. Keep them working, and they are toll free. I'm happy that they are planning to also open offices in other states of the federation.
That they don't have.
Yes, they are planning to do it in 9 more states, and later on they will do the remaining. So we just need to keep our communities safer. Ambulances need to be provided in strategic locations. As we said before, there must be a primary health center in every political ward.
Yes.
That was the design.
Not even local government.
No, every political ward. Every ward, every political ward.
Basic,
that was the design.
Decent
primary health care
center.
With the full complement of his medical staff, beginning with doctors.
Nurses,
because what you find in a lot of those primary health centers is that they don't have
enough qualified
doctors. There are other people, nurses, function as doctors and all that. No, that should not be the case. They should have doctors. Everybody is going to the tertiary level. That is where you are now. You have a good number of doctors are working at the tertiary health level. We need to look at the rural. So then when these emergency lines, when the emergency services are activated, they are taking them somewhere. And Medicare should be available where they are taking people to. And then, of course, rapid response, or what I'll call motorized patrols. We need motorized patrols in our country. In every community, people should be able to benefit from motorized military patrols or police patrols, so that when there is distress in the community, it is that motorized patrol that will respond quickly to go and deal with the situation. Until we're able to do that, your guess is as good as mine, as per what came out of these 35 million emergency calls in 7 months.